I got Hearth more so because I was working for another company and they relied on paper and pen. Uh, and they were getting a lot of business with paper and pen, but they were selling jobs to people that also wanted financing, right? And they couldn't finance because they didn't have an option. So I found Hearth based on the option of financing. How can I finance? I was making contracts on Adobe and sending them off for digital signatures and back, so I was already doing what Hearth offered, but I just had to do extra steps to get it done. Right. So the finance program is what drew me in, and the fact that you had the other bonuses is why I solely switched over from spending 2 hours making a contract when now it's like right there. I didn't have a platform that could deliver contracts or deliver financing options in my pitch. And I found you guys as I was looking for something and that could help me, seal the package. And that's how I started my company, and that's how I came to you. When my customer sees that at the scroll of a fingertip, they are more likely to press accept with me than to go to the Joe Blow down the street that's writing on a piece of paper, that's still doing buying the invoice packet from Home Depot or Office Max, and signing their own name and their company logo. And that was fine and dandy 50 years ago, but we're in the modern age, right? And everyone has a $500 phone, if not more, that they control their whole life with. I mean, if you think about it, I can adjust my AC from my phone. I can open my garage door from my phone. I can lock my doors from my phone. I can make purchases of $20,000 now on my phone by pressing the approve my quote, or I need to revise it, right? Let's revise this quote that Andre sent us. This is what I would like to be added. Can you not add this service? What is our price? We get that delivery almost instant. Within 30 minutes of their edit, we get it, and we can make our adjustments and send it back for approval. And within less than an hour's time, you can meet someone, quote someone, sell someone. So that's from, $0 to $10,000 in about an hour and a half, just because it's convenient. Think about how convenient that is for them, but think about how convenient it is now for us as, we're your consumer, right? I can sell more contracts in one day because how fast I can get them delivered. It allows your team to just constantly just practice on one skill. Quote, hey, you go out there and you write all the quotes you need to do today. Devin is going to take all the approvals, convert them to contracts, and collect payments. It's the quickest. It makes it so easy to expand your team so fast because now you're generating so much more revenue. Feature of the platform is the quote feature, because I can go anywhere from there. And honestly, I haven't gone further than that. I mean, I have the quote system, I have the contract system, and then we're doing the banking partnership that you guys have. So that's awesome in itself, because now we don't have to pay as much in transfer fees because it's directly to our bank account, depending on how they make their payments. So the fact that you guys brought on the banking system really is great, because it's something less that we got to worry, because really the cash flow is what matters, the reason why we do this. And if it gets held up, business slows down. I mean, I like Hearth, and I've pushed it. I'm biased because my experience, right? So, but you got to have experience to push or deny something. I've had one of my customers based out of Texas notice that I'm using the Hearth system, and it was more so a testimony for him to say, I didn't know that the system was going to be this smooth on a customer's perspective. Right? This guy is based out of Texas. He has multiple properties. His contract with us was about $31,000, and he was able to edit as much as he could so he's now a customer, right? He was able to edit. We were able to go back and forth for about a week on our edits, and he was able to see it via his phone, and then he was able to sign, pay, and it was deposited for us.